Hola, buenas tardes, guys. John here, and I got my margarita and my joints ready. Just came from surfing. All the girls were asleep. I don't know, man. These girls just waste the day. They got no purpose in life. They sleep in and don't accomplish nothing. And that's just how girls are, guys. They always expect a guy to save them or come to the rescue from all their laziness and bad decisions they make. I'm not trying to talk bad about the girls in my life, but it's just girls in general. That's just how all of them are. You know, I love the girls that I have, and they're great people. It's just they got bad habits, and you know, I wanted to bring one with me. No one slept over last night, so they all had to go home. Kylie came over and we watched a movie, and she had to go home. So I was too tired after she went home to have another girl come over and sleep over. So I woke up and the waves were like 6 feet this morning, and went to go surf really early. No one was awake, so I had to go by myself, and came here after. I was surprised they were open. I got here early. I'm like, oh wow. I just drove by. I came to drive by since it's by the surf spot, and I said, oh, they were open, and so I came, and the lady was here. She's all, hey, good morning. I said, oh, I'm surprised you guys were open so early. She's all, oh, where's everyone? And I said, oh, they're all asleep. I had to go by myself. I just came from surfing, and so I'm on my second margarita, had some guacamole, and was kind of just sitting here staring out at the ocean, pondering life, and just thinking about the things I need to do, what I'm doing, and just how life is, and what else I need to accomplish, what else I need to do to accomplish the goals that I have for myself. And even when I'm surfing or hanging out with the girls or doing whatever, you know, I have a team of people that work with me. I don't like to say they work for me. I like to say that they work with me. We all work together to help achieve the goal in mind. And so that allows me to spend time doing this kind of stuff. But of course, if I dedicated more of my time and just focused and didn't have the girls and all that stuff, distractions, then more would get done. But at least, even though I'm messing around and not doing a bunch of stuff or not focusing as much as I should be, at least stuff is still being done. And if you read The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss, that'll give you a good idea for those of you that have no entrepreneurial experience, no business experience, no experience delegating stuff. You know, I think that that'll be a big eye-opener for you guys, for you to check out that book or read the audiobook or look for it on YouTube. People got some illegal copies of the audiobook on there, and they also got some of the book summaries online on YouTube. So check that out, The 4-Hour Work Week, if you want to learn to live kind of like this digital nomad lifestyle where things are still getting done while you're still relaxing, like surfing, being on the beach, having a margarita, and just hanging out with a beautiful girl, or just doing the things you love. Actually, Bebecita just woke up. Oh, they all just woke up just right now, and started messaging. And so, hey, my dogs are playing right now. So I'm gonna call an Uber for Bebecita. She's gonna come down here to where I'm at, and then she's gonna stay over for the rest of the day and sleep over. And so probably take her out to go watch a movie and go out to eat something nice, you know, that we don't normally do, since a lot of these girls, they like to stay home more and just chill and smoke weed and stuff and relax. And it makes me very thankful that I have this, and am able to enjoy what a lot of people are traveling to try and get, like that experience with girls. But it's always transactional, and I'm very blessed, and I know that I'm very blessed, and I appreciate it, and I'm very thankful for what I have right now, because I don't have to travel to go somewhere to find girls. I have girls in my life. It's not transactional. There's actual genuine feelings involved, and I don't have to worry about them drugging me, robbing me, or setting me up, which is what every other person has to worry about. And surprisingly, in Mexico, which is a dangerous country, I know it's got some dangerous parts where the cartel runs it, which I wouldn't go to. But overall, it's a safer country than Colombia. She just messaged me, she's ready. So I'm gonna call it for her right now and get her to come down. Pretty cool, huh? So here's another part, like delegating, outsourcing. So I'm outsourcing to Uber to have the girl come to me wherever they're at. And while I do this video with you guys, they're being brought here. I don't got to go and pick them up like out of the old school days where you got to go pick up a girl or pick someone up and then bring them to your spot, where before Uber, well, I guess there would be taxis back then, but that just wouldn't be, taxis are not affordable, and like a taxi would probably cost $100, you know. Over here, it's gonna cost, what, $20 for her to get down here? I'm pretty far south, so can't beat that. So it's, let's see how far she is. Like a 30-minute ride is $20, less than $1 a minute, you know what I mean? So doesn't get any better than that. I don't gotta leave. I could sit here enjoying the margarita. I could do things productively while she's on her way, and probably by the time this video ends, she'll be here. But I'll have to pause the video and go down there and pay for the Uber, because sometimes they block my card. I'm using Didi right now. For those of you that travel to Latin America, they have other imitation Ubers, and they got Didi and InDriver. And so I suggest you guys download all 3 apps. Download Uber, download Didi, D-I-D-I, and download InDriver. Those are the 3 Latin American rideshare apps that are like similar to Uber, and just check the prices on each. Like Uber was double the price of this. InDriver, I couldn't even get it to work to find where she's at, but Didi found it and was cheaper. And so I'll tell you guys right now, out of all the 3, I'll rate it as far as like the top 3. Uber's the best one, second is Didi, and third is InDriver. InDriver is really shitty. So unless everything is super expensive and InDriver is the cheapest, use them as kind of like your last resort. They use shitty cars. They don't really care about how their drivers are. And you know, like I had got in an argument with one of them because they picked up my girls, and they showed up and there was somebody in the fucking passenger seat, and I got in an argument with them. And they jumped out of the car and almost wanted to fucking fight me. You know, of course I'm ready to defend myself, and I was super wasted, but I still know what's going on, you know? And so InDriver is the worst. I've had it where an InDriver pulled up where there was no rear window. It was like it got busted or something, and the guy was driving around. I'm like, where's your window? He's like, oh, it's broken. I'm like, he's all, but everything's okay. I'm like, no, fuck that. I told him to fuck off. I don't want to take that. And that's the kind of shit that you're gonna get. You're gonna get cars that are fucked up, drivers that don't give a shit because they don't regulate or manage their drivers the way that the way that Didi and Uber do. And Didi's cool too, but Uber is the most like one that's on top of things. They got like everything like regulated and managed well, and they take credit cards. Didi, for some reason, won't take my American credit card, no matter how many. They used to, but now they don't. And sometimes Uber doesn't. They reject my card, but for the most part, they will take it majority of the time. And so that's my recommendation for you guys on the ride-sharing apps. And today, I want to go over this video. So like, I don't really care about Colombia. I have no interest in going there. I only did a couple videos to kind of like share what's going on down there, because I got a lot of viewers, a lot of you guys that watch my channel, that watch the videos on my channel, that travel around the world and go to different places, and Colombia just happens to be one of those places where you guys go to go bang chicks. And so I get these guys that watch my channel, and part of my Jedi group, if you don't know, I got this inner circle where you know, I got guys that are doing well in life and well-traveled. They got the money, they got the time, they got the resources to travel. And so we're in this, I set up this inner circle, and it connects other guys. It connects these guys to other guys that are like-minded, that normally you wouldn't be able to share a lot of the things that you're doing. Like, for example, like you're traveling and you're telling friends you're traveling to go touring, but you're actually traveling to bang chicks. And that's not something you can tell your coworkers or your friends or your family what you're doing. And so there's no way, no friends, no connections, no one that you can talk to share your real life. And that's kind of where this is a network of guys that, you know, a lot of them are married still, and then some are divorced, and some are young and single and just make money. And it's just, I got the whole fucking range from all walks of life, from different places around the world, all like fucking in this inner circle, and we're all sharing all our knowledge that we've accumulated. And so they share this stuff with me, and I think it's interesting enough to share with you guys, to let you guys know what's going on. Hold on, let me call her because the Uber's at her spot. Ya está ahí afuera. Sí. Okay, bye. Bye. All right, she just got in the Uber. So, like I was saying, back to before I was telling you about that. So these guys, not just these guys, I got them sharing the stuff within the group, and them sending me messages about this stuff, because a lot of them have been well traveled and go to Colombia a lot. And so we're on top of like what's going on in different parts of the world. It just doesn't happen to be Colombia, but Colombia is the hot spot right now, where so much shit is happening to travelers and sex tourists, and not even just sex tourists, digital nomads, guys that are just touring, not even trying to bang chicks, are getting drugged. Even locals are getting drugged over there, and even Latinos from other parts of Latin America are getting drugged. So it's just an opportunistic spot where people are just robbing whoever they possibly can. It doesn't even matter if they're American or not. And if they have an opportunity, or they see a opportunity, they're gonna do it. And so that's what we're seeing. Hold on, let me just make sure she's coming to the right. Yeah, she's coming to the right spot. So she's gonna be here in like 30 minutes. And so, hold on. All right, so they sent me this. So not just these guys, but guys that are viewers are sending me these videos about Colombia. And like I said, I don't care. I could care less about Colombia. I have no interest in going there. It's a dangerous fucking spot. It's a shithole of like Latin America. There's places in Mexico that are just like Colombia, and they have streetwalkers and girls all over the place and things like that. And it's just a city type atmosphere, where kind of like Mexico City's like that. I've seen it in Mexico City, where you got girls up and down the street just waiting, dressed up in their dresses and stuff. And you know, I don't like that scene. I don't like streetwalkers. I don't like girls in the street. I like meeting girls, and like if it was like a working girl scene, for me, my preference is being able to hang out with them, being able to get to know them, being able to party, being able to drink, being able to go to places and get to know them. That's more of my scene. I don't like just picking up a girl, seeing a girl, no matter how hot she is. I don't want to just see a girl, tell her, hey, let's go fuck, and not know nothing about her. You know, I don't care about that. I'm more of a connection type person. And so that's what I'm looking for. ¿Quién es?
Ese que está ahí. A lo mejor uno de los perritos.
Ah, no, es una pomerania. Pomerania.
No, mira.
Es una pomerania. Pomerania. Él no escucha.
Que si lo vende.
No. This guy's asking me if I'm selling my dogs. Their dogs are not for sale.
No los vende. Tiene dos, pero son de él.
No. Mi amiga está en camino. Ajá.
Mira, pero son de él. Los tiene bien chicas. No los vende. No.
The guy keeps asking how much.
No. Okay.
Por $1,000,000, no. Son mis bebés. Amiga, una más. ¿Cuándo tienes tiempo? I'm almost done with this, so by the time she comes back around. So, all right. Well, I guess that's enough for the intro. Where guys are like sending me videos. They're sending me all this shit. I've received so many. There was this German guy that got jacked. So many people sent me that. I'd say more than 10 people sent me that video wanting me to cover this German guy who got jacked, which I'm gonna get to. But I thought this was more interesting than the German guy getting jacked, because this one happens to be a guy who got jacked and got shot and lives to tell about it. And then he still wants to stay there on top of that. And that to me is like, why the fuck would you want to do that, you know? And I always tell you guys, and there's other people that write it in the comments, that there's better places. I don't know why people, it's like Colombia is the only place they've ever heard of, and they think that it's the best fucking option. There's better options than that, guys. I don't know, what is it? They hear that the girls are super cheap down there? You gotta ask yourself why it's so cheap. If the pussy is so cheap, why? There's gotta be a reason why, you know? And usually it's because the more dangerous it is, the cheaper it gets. And so the money you're going to be saving, you're going to end end up paying by getting robbed, drugged, or even pay it with your life. And so most guys are like too ignorant to think about that. Or here's the thing, a lot of guys, they keep hearing, oh yeah, it's safe down there, it's safe down there, and they hear like all these YouTubers talking about it. Oh man, I live here, or I've been here so many times and nothing's ever happened. And then they're getting smarter down there. They're starting to wait and play the long game. They're not just trying to do it in the same night, which there's still a lot of people there's still a lot of those people that can go down there and travel, but when it's your turn, man. And it's like, someone put it in a good way. Someone wrote a comment one time and said, going down there is like playing Russian roulette. Each time you go, you're pulling the trigger until that fucking bullet hits the chamber, and boom, then it's your turn. I thought that was a good analogy, because eventually, the longer you stay there, the more you partake in this, then the more your chances increase of fucking something happening to you. And I'm no exception, you know? I'm living in Mexico and playing Russian roulette too. I'm in one of the most dangerous cities, murder capitals of the world, but I'm minimizing my risk by not going out and by surrounding myself with people that I have known for a long time and have vetted, and I know who they are. I know their family and stuff. Their family knows me, you know, so that kind of minimizes my risk. And so these are the things. I try not to go out at night anymore, because I see all the shit that happens. I know that the place where I'm at is dangerous. I know that people are getting jacked. Even the high-end restaurants, they got the gunmen coming in and robbing the entire fucking restaurant. How many videos have I seen like that? Just because you don't see it on the news doesn't mean it's happening. And here's the thing, guys. A lot of people like try to say shit or write in the comments or like, yeah, nothing ever happens, I've been there so many times, and they think just because they don't see it or they don't know anybody that it's happened to, they think that none of this shit is happening, and that's just like pure ignorance on their part, to where they're just ignoring it. Just because they don't see things happening or they don't hear it or don't see it on the news, they think that this kind of shit doesn't happen and that it won't happen to them, and that's what gets them set up. And they'll change their mind when it does finally fucking happen to them. And so, or it could be like this guy, where it does happen and it still doesn't change their mind, you know? And so that's why I wanted to share this story, because it said that this guy got, from what I was watching, it says like he got shot 4 times and lives to tell about it, and yet still wants to stay down there. Even with threats, even with the people knowing what he looks like, or like him even showing his face on this video for him to bring it forward, you know? And so this channel called Obiland is the one that interviewed him, and they like specialize in covering Colombia shit. The guy lives out there, and even this guy, Obiland, the guy who runs the channel, doesn't want to show his face or anything, because he knows what could happen of like showing his face and people threatening. The threat is real, you know? And so he's not dumb. And like for me too, like Andrew Tate talks about, like if someone wants to get you and they don't know where you're at, they go after the girls. They always go after, the way to get to a guy is through the girl that they're with. And like, I get all these dummies that say, oh, why you gotta cover their faces? Why don't you ever show their faces? Oh, is there something wrong with their face? Are they ugly or whatever? Like that kind of shit. These guys just don't understand. And I ask them, like, if you pay attention, why don't you ask yourself the same question as to why I cover the guys' faces too? It's the same fucking reason. But they don't, they're just, so many ignorant people out there and so many dummies, you know, and it's just like, it blows my mind to when I see how many dumb people there are out in the world, because I'm not used to that. I'm not used to being around dumb people. I'm used to being around like people that are smart, people that are like doing shit in life, people that have common sense, people that have intelligence, people that are making money. You know, that's what I'm used to surrounding myself with. And with this channel, it gets people access to like that I would never converse with, that I would never hang out with, that I would never want to know or be a friend to. That gives them access to me, and they can write dumb shit, you know? And so it blows my mind, guys. So imagine all the dumb messages, all the dumb comments, and all the dumb guys that are out there that I'm seeing. What more for a hot girl that receives all these dummies messaging them that have no idea how female fucking psychology works or anything like that? All the messages they receive is got to be like 10 times worse than the messages that I'm receiving, you know? And so I just wanted to talk about that before we get into this, because it all corresponds and it all segues into this video that we're about to get into. And I'm gonna pause the video and give my take on everything that the guy is discussing. All right, so I just got the money ready, and I got 2 joints left. I already smoked 1. I'm gonna wait for Bebecita because she's gonna be sad if I only have 1 joint left for us after we have our drinks and get buzzed. And so let's get into this. So I already kind of segued into this. Now we're gonna see what this guy is fucking, I'm gonna play it at 1.5 times speed because it's an hour-long interview. And so, you know, my videos are already long. So what more with this? And I'm gonna talk and pause it. So that's why I set it up at 1.5 times so we can get through it a little bit faster. And I hope you guys can keep up with it and listen at 1.5 too. All right, let's get into it.
And it just say Boogie.
Right. So welcome here to Real Talk with Obi. I'm here with Boogie. We've been talking off camera. Man, bro, you survived something that, you know, not many people, you know, have been lucky enough to, you know, to escape and live through to tell their own story, especially here in Colombia. You were a victim of an attempted kidnapping. Can you just let me know, tell us what happened?
You're right, I'm very lucky, but probably very stupid as well. To give some context.
All right, so he said he's lucky that he's very stupid. At least he knows. At least he's not trying to pretend he's not.
Context, I've been coming here for 6 years for extended trips. So last time I was here for 3 months. So familiar with the risks of the country, and I feel like I'm a fairly aware person and not completely stupid, but I definitely...
So guys, he's been going there for 6 years. Nothing's happened, and he felt like he's aware of what goes on, you know, and even that didn't help or save him for what just happened to him.
Definitely made some bad decisions a few weeks ago. I met a girl. It's always about a girl, right? A very pretty girl in Provenza. She didn't approach me. I approached her. I asked a Gringo who lived here, like, if he thought she was working, because I was trying to stay away from a working girl.
All right, so sorry just to interrupt you, and I know the guys are going to be like, let them...
All right, so he just met a normal girl, and he's trying to stay away from working girls, you know, which is understandable. But look, they're getting smarter. They're trying to make the girls look like they're not working girls, and they're gonna lure you in that way because they're seeing now that guys are more after like a normal girl, and that working girls are more known to drug you.
Man,
So good.
honestly speaking, were you looking for a working girl, or you?
No, that was the whole point. I've been trying to meet organically, Tinder, Bumble, like to meet a real girl for like a relationship kind of deal. So I meet this girl.
So the guy's been trying to meet girls on Tinder and Bumble. Fuck these online dating things, guys. Don't be looking for girls online. I'm gonna repeat it one more time because I repeat it in every video. Any badass girl who's dope, hot, fucking cool as fuck is not gonna be on Bumble or Tinder. If a girl is that hot, she'd have a bunch of guys in her life already and be swooped up in real life and not have to resort to going online. The only ones that are online are the ones that are gonna scam you, single moms, girls with mental issues, you know, girls that have problems that guys don't want. And if they're on there and they are a good fucking girl, they're not gonna pick you. They're gonna pick the guy that's the best looking and the fucking the Chad of all Chads, because they're receiving hundreds of messages. So they're only gonna pick the top fucking 5% of the guys that are on the app. And so you're at a loss and you're like at a disadvantage because the girl's already at a higher status than you when you're on those dating apps, because you're the one begging for her. She's the one receiving hundreds of messages. You're not receiving 100 messages, you know, they're receiving 100 messages. So get off the fucking apps and you ain't gonna find a decent girl on these apps. All the girls that I'm dating, none of them use those apps. So that's what I'm telling you guys. Like, if you want to get a cool ass fucking chick, they're not on these fucking dating apps, guys.
So I meet this girl. I approach her. I talk to her. She's got good English. She's really cute, beautiful, pretty, hot, everything. Tattoos. She says she's waiting for a friend, and this is outside Vintrash on Carrera.
Not a bad looking girl, but she ain't the hottest looking girl. But she has tattoos. She has a sleeve on her arm. You know, girls that have tattoos, red flags. All my girls got tattoos, you know? And that shows, like, even though they're good girls, they got that bad side to them where they make poor decisions, and it's just proven. That's what it's a red flag, you know? Even my main girl has some tattoos, not like really tiny ones, but just the fact that they got tattoos is a sign that they got something to where they had to make a permanent mark on themselves, where they weren't thinking of the consequences or the long term. And so they have this thing where they're showing they're able to make poor decisions.
Outside Vintrash on Carrera 25, so it's very popular tourists. Loads of gringos. I got a Gringo Tuesday at Vintrash, which is sort of near where she was. We go for one beer.
So he met like around this Gringo Tuesday thing. So one of my friends that went to Colombia, that goes to Colombia all the time, Mr. X, he met a couple girls at Gringo Tuesday. So Gringo Tuesday is this event. They have it in different parts, even in Bogota, Medellin, they have it there. And it's almost like a networking event where the gringos come to go on Tuesday, and then girls come to try and meet gringos. And to like, try to teach each other English and Spanish, whatever, or some will speak English already, but it's where they try to go to meet gringos, and that's why they have this event called Gringo Tuesday. And so that's why they go there. Luckily, my friend didn't get jacked by the girls that he went out with, he went out with a couple girls. He made out with a couple of them at the spot, and like it wasn't as good as he like heard it was, And so these girls over there will go to these Gringo Tuesday events just to look for guys that possibly they can date or marry or get a green card, And so just watch out, man. It's just nowhere is safe anymore. Luckily, my friend, nothing happened.
Beer, conversation. She likes coffee in the gym and this kind of thing. So yeah, she spoke good English, and it felt like there was chemistry.
So you met her that day, and then you went to have some coffee on the same day.
And this was the night before, on the Tuesday.
Right.
We had one beer, and I had to walk into an Uber, and she said, "Oh, do you mind if I hold your arm? These shoes are high, like the heels are high." I put my hand out, and she's like, "Oh, I don't want to hold your hand because it's too familiar." And I was like, "Oh, that's like really sweet." We both said we like this Pergamino coffee shop. We agreed to meet there the next day. I was going to work remote. She shows up with a really cute French bulldog.
This was the next day, right?
This was the next day, like 12 o'clock in the day, daytime.
Damn, man, the guys, they're getting fucking sneaky now, even bringing a dog into the picture. I can understand how this guy got, man, because if a girl brings a dog, you won't think that she's a working girl. You won't think that she's trying to get you, like any other country, you'd be all right, and you would think like, shit, I just hit the jackpot, which he's thinking right now. He had a beer with her. She ain't asking for money. She ain't asking to fuck, and they're going out, and the next day they bring a dog with, they're getting fucking smart, guys. The criminals are getting smarter and smarter.
Daytime, all good. So there'd been no talk of sex or drugs or anything. It was all seemed to me very like above board, and I was like, well, look, I'm going to this MMA gym. Do you want to come? She said, sure. I just need to drop my dog and change my clothes.
Right. So where was the MMA gym? Where was it? Was it based around?
It's like 5 minutes from Santa Fe Mall. Right. So we're in Provenza. That's like a 10-minute Uber away.
Okay. And there was nothing about her which looked suspicious. She didn't give you any like, weird vibes or anything like that.
Okay, so one of the guys, I posted on Reddit just to make people aware, so, like at least there can be some benefit, someone can learn from my story. And one dude said, oh, the fingernails. And I was like, well, I live in the Caribbean, like girls of all races are rocking like crazy nails. Like to me, that's not a big deal.
Right, so what kind of nails did she have?
They didn't look like anything. They was not too long. They were kind of nice, I thought. She said she's a nail technician. It makes sense. She's going to have good nails. Right. She said she liked coffee, but then when we were drinking the coffee, she was like, oh, do you want to finish mine? Which, mine, that thing is like, if you like coffee, you're not going to half drink your coffee. We go to get a taxi.
So the girl wants to go to, she said she's going to MMA gym, whatever, and has to drop off her dog. So the dog is the thing that lowers the guard down and says that they want to do that. Hold on, I got a message from one of the viewers who wants me to go to Hako with them, and so I'm gonna answer that real quick. Damn, already next week, shit. So all right, so the guy who I'm talking to, he's a viewer, and he reached out. He just discovered my channel, and he booked a call with me. We had a consultation call, and he's going to a different tropical paradise, and so he's gonna go down there for like a week or two, and then he's gonna come out to Tijuana, and then he's gonna come down to Cartagena. This guy travels all around the world, so he's similar to me. Like when he saw my video, he's all, dude, me and him are like on parallel fucking things. We both kind of do the same things, and he related to like a lot of the stuff I'm that I talk about. And then he said that he's going to Hako, and I told him, hey man, he booked a call to get advice for all the things and where he's going to be going and staying and things like that. And so he wants me to go out there. I'm going to go out with him, and he'll cover my expenses and everything. So looks like I might be going out there to meet up with him, and then he's going to come back to check out Tijuana because of some of the videos he saw that I was discussing. So he's gonna check it out for himself to see how all the girls are compared to like all the other places he's been. And he speaks Spanish too, and he's not Latino, but he speaks Spanish. I'm like me, I'm not Latino, I speak Spanish. I learned, he learned. When you're intelligent, you'll be able to pick up things faster and learn different languages and be able to communicate, because you can understand things and retain things in your memory to where, being able to speak multiple languages is a sign of intelligence, because speaking different languages and comprehending is not easy. Like there's a lot of guys who can't learn no matter how long they've been in a country. They're even living there and they're immersed in it and they still can't learn. That's a sign that they have low intelligence, So guys, learn different languages, make an effort to study shit, and it'll pay off. If you're going to Thailand, learn Thai. If you're going to Mexico or some Latin American country, learn Spanish. You're going to the Philippines, learn Tagalog, you know? Wherever these countries are that you're going to, where you're gonna be partaking or trying to be a tourist, learn the language. Hire a fucking tutor online to teach you. Go on Fiverr or Upwork and find a teacher to help you. Oh, Bebecita's here now. I'll be back in a minute. So, mi Bebecita is here, and the first thing she did was order a drink and fire up the joint faster than I can sit back down and get set up. I only brought 2 phones this time, and like, I can't play the music. She wanted to play the music. Connect to the phone thing. Her phone doesn't have enough space because she doesn't have the iCloud thing. We've been trying to set that shit up, but iCloud won't take any credit card block. So I can't believe she's here, guys. She made it through an Uber too. That is so cool. I can't believe she made it here so fast. All right, so let's get back into where we were at, talking about different languages and learning the language wherever you go, guys. It'll go a long way. Like trying to build a relationship through Google Translate doesn't fucking work. Baby, mira all these fucking Bluetooths she has in her phone. Debes que borrar tus Bluetooth de...
Okay.
Hold on, I'm gonna connect her Bluetooth, guys. All right, yeah, stop. All right, guys, so let's get back to the video of this guy. So many distractions. And we're barely just fucking 4 minutes into the video.
To get a taxi, I got to order an Uber. So I get her address, so I know where we're going. And I look on the map to make sure it's a good area. I see it's in Berlin. I got friends who live in Berlin. I know there's some dodgy parts of Berlin, but for the most part, it's all right. So what happened then? Yeah, so as I put the address in the Uber, and I don't know what I did. I showed it to her or something. She's like, oh, this is going to take too long. Let's just get a taxi. I was like, cool. This was definitely a mistake. Right. Don't get into taxi. Like, always.
So he was calling an Uber and she said, let's get a taxi. And he listened to her and he even knows it was a mistake, guys. Don't let the girls dictate whatever you're going to do. Always remain in control.
I just want to ask a question, right? At the point where she said, like, let's get the taxi, when she was with you in the coffee shop, at any point was she on her phone texting or doing anything like that? Texting somebody or acting weird? Or did she say, listen, I've got to go off and make a phone call or something like that? Anything like that that you didn't pick up?
There was nothing really triggered then. It was when she said, let's get the taxi. Like, I know that's not the right thing to do, but I didn't really care because I still nothing was triggering then. We were in the taxi. Maybe it seemed like she didn't know where she was going. And she was a bit quiet, and she said she felt sick from the coffee, but she had no food, which I know that happens. Like, this happened to me. So, like, it's kind of, there was a weird, different vibe, but it didn't seem anything that bad. But just because I'm trying to always be, thinking ahead and careful, I already texted my location to 2 groups of friends. I had a bunch of friends here for my birthday, and I had another friend or a couple friends who were still in the country. So,
Girl said she was sick. She made an excuse. So, couple red flags. The girl said, let's take a taxi instead. Then she says she's sick. Then he ignores the red flags. He knew it was not right, but he's justifying it in his mind that it was okay. And then he texts his friends his location, which doesn't fucking really matter. Because if they don't hear from you, are they really gonna come and look for you? Are those the kind of friends that you're texting the location to, where they're actually gonna look for you if they don't hear from you? Which didn't happen with this guy.
Pulling up, I see really nice buildings, like expensive apartments. I'm like, oh cool, we're going to one of these. There'll be security, it's all good. Somewhere along that way, I just had the presence of mind to have like a tactical Supreme pen. So it's like a sharp, pointy metal pen. And I took it out of my bag and put it into my...
So, like, what he's talking about is a tactical pen. I carry one around with me all the time. It can get into places where, like, knives and shit won't get along. It's like, this is the one I carry around with me. And it's a unibody design where you can't really pull it apart. Some of them become knives, but I like this one because it's a push button and you can hold it like this and use it like a knife. And it won't bend. You can use it to break the glass too if you're in a car or whatever. But just when you have your thumb on the top, and with this, you can stab someone and it'll actually do some damage. And so he had it in his bag. What good is it in your fucking bag? It should be in your fucking, on you, where you can get to it right away. I'm actually thinking about carrying 2 of them, one for each side of my hands, in case. I only have one on my right hand, which is my dominant hand, but I'll have one for my left hand now. I'm thinking about carrying 2, just to have both sides, because if they grab you and one arm is free and you don't have the other arm free, then you need to get to whichever you can reach easier.
Stupid thing I did, like I would work remote and go to the coffee shop and back home again, but I would never go anywhere else with my expensive laptop and all my shit. So I had more stuff I should be walking around in Colombia with, and I know that. So that was a mistake. getting her taxi was a mistake. So we rocked up to the crib, and it's not one of these nice buildings, but the street is okay. There's people on the street. There's like a hamburger shop across the road, guy sitting outside. We pull up to a low-rise, like a 2-story apartment, gated. The key's under the mat, and I'm like, that's really secure, isn't it? She said it was her aunt's place. Her aunt worked in real estate. I was like, oh, maybe, she has multiple places. She opens the door, she walks in, she's like, oh, can you close the door? And I'm looking at the place, it looks like a clean Airbnb. Still, like, not really.
So did it look really clean? Did it have any furniture in there? Like,
it was like a proper Airbnb. Like,
right, okay, so did it look like someone was living in there?
It didn't look that lived in, no. It looked like how they put it.
It looked like a trap house, like a place.
Well, it didn't look like a trap house, but it definitely was a trap house, because I was trying to remember how it happened in my head, because I think I got a little bit confused. I got hit in the head quite a few times. So we walked into the front door, and there was like the living area and stairs coming down. And then there was like the dining table with chairs, and then a kitchen in the next room. I took my bag off and put it on the first chair. Like, I must have closed the door, put my bag down. And then right away, I guess they went upstairs. They just had come down the stairs, and 2 guys pop out. I'm here in the hospital. I think I got shot maybe 3 or 4 times. I think they were just glancing wounds, but I got pistol whipped a few times. I stupidly fought the 2 guys, but they wanted to take me up. There was no way I was going to let that happen. They were going to have to shoot me if they wanted to take me. We walked into the front door, and there was like the living area and stairs coming down. And then there was like the dining table with chairs, and then a kitchen in the next room. I took my bag off and put it on the first chair. Like, I must have closed the door, put my bag down. And then right away, I guess they were upstairs. They just had come down the stairs, and 2 guys pop out.
What did these guys look like? Do you remember?
Colombians with like shitty COVID masks on, both with shiny guns.
Both?
Yeah, both pointing at my head. One taller, bigger, one skinnier.
So, just sorry to cut you. So, at that moment when you saw those 2 shiny guns, how big were these guys, first of all? Because you're a pretty tall guy. You're a big guy.
6'2", like 250 pounds.
You're almost as tall. You're as tall as me, right? So when you saw these 2 guys, how tall were they?
They're smaller than me. All Colombians are smaller than us, right? It's like,
okay. So you have these 2 guys, right? They've got their facial mask on from the COVID-19 thing, right? And then they've got their 2 shiny guns pointing at your face. What was going through your mind?
Kind of like,
Yeah, pointed sideways, kind of.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I immediately realized I fucked up, but because I think I was subconsciously preparing for it, I wasn't that surprised. I was like, oh yeah, you're a fucking idiot. Like, not to do all the things you just did because this can happen. The first time you've ever done it in your life, the first time in 6 years, Colombia, is exactly what everyone told you it is. Like,
so when you're standing there,
I stopped it right there, guys. He's been there 6 years, and like I said, everyone keeps saying it's safe, it's safe, it's safe, until they go there so many times, or they live there for so long, until it fucking happens. And now it happened to this guy, and he ignored all the red flags because he thought that he met a girl that's not a working girl and that's not gonna drug him, and that's how smart they're getting now. And that's like a super important point in this video, is that they're getting smarter, they're playing the long game. They're playing like, now that they're seeing guys that are covering these things that they're doing in videos, they're getting smarter. So they're reevaluating and readjusting how they're getting their target, and showing them like, that they're trying not to show that they're the typical working girls that are drugging the guys, and now they're trying to make it look like innocent girls that are just regular girls that won't drug, And if you're trying to meet a normal girl, a regular girl, you're not gonna meet them while they're working at a regular job. Most girls will not take it that far if they're like working at an ice cream shop or a fucking barista or a hostess. Most of these girls that are working like at a mall or something, they wouldn't be taking the scam that far to be working at a shitty job. Chances are they're just a normal fucking chick that is living the normal life. But you got to be careful, because they might have friends, they might have a broke boy, they might have someone that sees who they're hanging out with and force them to jack you. And that's what happens too. They threaten them, and they have no choice.
You see these 2 guys approaching with 2 shiny guns. You obviously, one of the thoughts in your head was that you fucked up. 100%, right? What was the next thing that came into your mind?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot, to be honest. I just knew I didn't want to be there. And they had a reel of duct tape, and I can't remember if they said it in English, or I definitely understood their intention without knowing what was said, because they were pointing to the ground, I think saying, get down.
Okay, and at this point, where was the girl that you came into the
She walked into the kitchen, I was in the dining room, they were blocking the living room, which then had the entrance to the door to get out.
Okay, so while all that was happening, did you ever have any further eye contact with the girl before she walked into the kitchen?
No, pretty much. She walked to the kitchen, I put my bag down, the guys popped out, and I just forgot about her existing. Like, I was just totally focused on these 2 motherfuckers with guns at my head.
Right, and then what did they do next? They pointed, get down or whatever.
Yeah, and I think pretty quickly, they didn't get what they wanted. I think they're probably, relying on the shock effect or something. I know I had some cash in my pocket. I didn't even have that much cash on me, but I just grabbed my cash, threw it at them, was trying to chill them out, tranquilo amigos. I was trying to, obviously I got a bit of adrenaline going on, but I was trying to remember enough Spanish to say that I'd sent my location to my friends. I'm like, mi amigos sabes mi dirección. So my friends know my address.
And what was their reaction when you said all of that stuff?
I mean, I think maybe they were just either fucking scared or inexperienced because they were very focused on just like intimidation, get on the ground. So I think right away, that's when they both came and started like attacking me and pistol whipped me in the cheek, in the head, which this like started bleeding a lot, like right away. I took my shirt off to wrap my head so I could actually see because there was so much blood. And that is a bit of a blur, but...
So at this point, when they start pistol whipping you and all the blood is gushing down from your head, at any point, did you think this is it? Like, did you think that, you know, I'm resistant? Because obviously you were resistant at that point. If they pistol whipped you, you weren't following the instructions, right?
That's it. Like,
right? So, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're right.
So did you think at that point, okay, if I resist further, they're going to do me in?
The main focus on my head was I could tell they wanted to tie me up with duct tape. And I'd literally rather die than that happen.
Why?
I mean, the thought of torture and just lack of power, I consider myself a submissive person, so it's like, I've thought about this in the past. I thought that's probably like the greatest fear, like you got drowning or sharks, whatever the fuck it is. I think just like, yeah, tortured, hostile style is like the worst thing I can think of ever happening.
So like,
Pause it right there, guys. So took this seminar with this guy named Ed's Manifesto. He's like a guy who worked against the narcos and everything down here in Mexico. And I did a 3-day seminar with him. It was called Counter Custody, Anti-Kidnapping, and I forgot the other part. It was called Urban Movement or something like that, where he taught us how to react to these situations. And duct tape, he taught us how to get out of duct tape, taught us how to get out of zip ties, how to get out of handcuffs, how to shimmy the handcuffs, because these are what the kidnappers are going to use when you get kidnapped or get restrained. They're going to use duct tape. The most common one is duct tape, then zip ties, then handcuffs, and because those are you can get those easily anywhere.
Hola, what's up guys? Had to interrupt the video to bring you guys an important announcement. A lot of you guys watching, I've been receiving tons of messages from guys that are virgins, that haven't been laid yet, that want to get laid, and maybe guys that have already been laid, but they're not getting access to girls where they're at, so they want to get laid still. You know, these guys are getting taken advantage of, reaching out to escorts, strippers, or whatever they're reaching out to, wasting all that money. If you really need help that bad and you want to do it that bad, reach out. I'll help you guys. We'll discuss whatever it is that you're facing. It can also be other stuff. Maybe you're heartbroken and need advice or need something to help you get over that heartbreak. Maybe you have a wife or a girlfriend where you feel like she's cheating on you or things just aren't the same. I can help you analyze the situation and get over it. I've gone through a lot of relationships already with girls from all over the place, all over the world, different places, you know, so I've seen all the things that they do. Been in long-term relationships, so I know what a marriage feels like. I know what divorce feels like. I haven't been divorced, but in a long-term relationship to where I felt like divorce, pretty much. And so I've seen a lot of people go through it, and I can help you guys that are going through these type of things too. If you need help, maybe like going to another place, I can put you in touch with people in different places in part of my network, or find people that are viewers as well that can help. That's why I'm doing this, to get the word across of the things that I can help you with. Not just that, if you own a business and you're accepting credit cards and you're still paying the fees, you don't got to pay the fees no more. You're pretty much just throwing your money in the trash. You're better off just using it on yourself, splurging, taking a vacation, enjoying like this in a pool in a tropical location somewhere where there's nothing but palm trees around and tropical birds, that kind of stuff where the weather's perfect. You could be doing that instead. Or if you have some friends or family that own businesses that are still wasting their money paying the fees, you know, I'll be able to help. So I can help with a number of things, and I'll be glad to, you know, put you guys in the right direction. Same if you guys want to go to Costa Rica, I got friends out there. Cancun, I got friends down there. Philippines, I got a lot of friends out there. So you guys need help on any of that stuff, reach out. I'll be glad to put you in contact so that way you can have a better experience all around. All right, talk to you guys soon. Adios.
And so he showed us how to get out of those, and I took the course because I want to be prepared. And so this is kind of the stuff that this guy's going through right now. And you know, like, I'm going to share a little bit more information of what I learned from the seminar, but if you guys have the chance, and especially if you're traveling, look for his courses. I'll put it up on the screen, Ed's Manifesto. And take a look at his courses. If he ever has one near you, go to it, or go to wherever he's gonna have one. He usually sells out fast. I met him a long time ago before he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, which made him get more famous. So, you know, he lives in Tijuana, and so maybe I'll get him I'll try and see if I can get him to do an interview, and then maybe I'll have him do a private anti-kidnapping counter custody thing just for my group. So that way the people that follow me and that are part of my inner circle can partake in that as well. because it's super important to know this kind of stuff. Like, he asked me why I wanted to take the course. I said, because I live here in Mexico, and just in case it happens, I want to give myself the best fucking possible chance of surviving if any of these things ever happen. He's all very smart. And so he said, since you're living in Mexico, I'm gonna do exactly how the cartels would kidnap you and give you that kind of experience, which he did. And so he wrapped me in fucking duct tape, because that's what they use. Even this guy got wrapped up in duct tape, and they showed me how. They fucking did it in like a mummy style, where they put my hands like this, and then they wrapped the fucking duct tape all around so that my hands were like stuck against my face and I couldn't do anything. Like, wrapped all the way around my face and my head and my arms like that. That's how he did it. And then they duct taped my ankles together. It was extremely difficult to escape that. And that's how he wanted to train me, because he said that's what's gonna normally happen, you know? And they called me Mr. Comida China, Mr. Chinese food for like Hong Kong, you know, for the place, because they made us introduce ourselves before we started the course as to who we are and why we're taking it and where we live and everything. And that's why I told them, and they gave me the nickname Comida China for like the Hong Kong club, which is like the place which doesn't serve Chinese, but it's just named that. And so they made it a joke and called me that, and they said, we're gonna give you the special treat. And so they did, which was good. They tortured us, they kidnapped us, you know? And so that's how I was able to experience and get an idea of what it's like, because the time to deal with this kind of stuff and be in shock is the time when it's not for real, to practice at first. So, like I said, take that fucking course if you guys have the resources and the time and can get out to wherever he's gonna have his next fucking seminar.
As I said in a little documentary that I did, some of these guys, they kidnap people over here to do paseo millonario. That's where they take you, they keep you for a couple of days, they have your ATM card or your credit cards, and then every day they're taking money, you know, from your account using your cards and stuff. What do you, or in some unlucky instances, you could actually be held for ransom. What do you think their intentions were?
I mean, it was obviously financial. I would have assumed that the minimum they would be taking my cards to get money out. But I've heard of other guys where they've drained their crypto accounts. So I got my phone on me, which I think I had biometrics enabled at the time. I've got my laptop on me, so I literally have everything I need for my banking. But also, I could fuck with it and make sure they couldn't get it. Would that have frustrated them more in that situation? I didn't really ever want to find out. Like, it could have been, yeah, they're just getting my cards, or they could be getting all the money from my bank. I really didn't know or care. It's just I couldn't face the thought of being fucking duct tape by these dudes.
Right. So at that point, when you were, blood is gushing down your head, you're resisting, and then they come in, they're striking on your head. At which point did you decide that, they're not going to take me? Like, they're going to have to. And at which point did it turn from them bashing you on the head to the actual gunshots going off?
I mean, it was pretty much right away from them pulling guns out. I was like, well, I'm going to do whatever I can to control the situation to make my best outcome. So when they were coming in with guns and stuff, I was basically trying to control the guns because I didn't want the guns pointing at my head. Mm-hmm. But there was a lot of scuffling. There was a lot of hits back and forth. Like, guy lost his gun. I think the first time the guy hit me on the head, his mag came out. Then he must have shot at me somewhere in between, like maybe 6+ times. But it was the big guy doing the shooting. Every time he shot, he had to cock the gun. So they looked like good guns, but maybe they were shitty guns. The little guy was like super aggressive. He was like the fighter, and I don't think he shot at all. So maybe his gun didn't work. I don't know.
So where did you get hit?
So we were scuffling back and forth, and I keep trying to remember how it happened because it was a bit of a blur, and it could have been 10, 15 minutes. It was basically, I text my friend at 1 saying, I'm with this girl, I'm going to this live location. And then half an hour later, I text him the video that you saw. So I'm in the back, I'm in the dining room. I've got like trying to have the corner between me, trying to keep one guy in front of me to like minimize like attacks. And I just remember the big guy coming up and like shooting at the ground near my feet. And it went like so loud, like we all just kind of stopped. And I was like, cool, tranquilo. And they both just stopped. And again, they were like, get on the ground. I was like, no.
What is it about you? Why weren't you scared? Most people would just freeze up. Why didn't you freeze up? I mean, I'm a big guy, right? If someone shot at my feet, I'm going down. I'm doing what they want. Because to me, that's serious intention. Yeah. So why are you like this? Like, why? Like some people watching this would just say, without being offensive, that, it was dumb.
I mean, yeah, definitely.
Because this could have easily been, turned out different.
I would agree. It could have gone so wrong so many different ways. I'm very lucky, very, very lucky, very dumb. I think some kind of preparedness for situations like this sort of helps. I've never been a fighter. I never really got into fights. I mean, maybe remember a couple fights in high school where I got punched in the mouth. I didn't win those fights. I guess I always had like one of those childless dreams as a kid, like I'm punching, but it's like nothing. Like you can't even feel your hands, And in my head, I kind of forget I'm like a big, heavy dude covered in tattoos. So people have a different impression of me that I have of myself. But as a teenager, I did Kung Fu. And then when I was living in London, I did a bit of kickboxing. And then I moved to the Cayman Islands and then discovered jiu-jitsu and really got into jiu-jitsu. And so we're talking maybe 8 years ago. And my trainer turned me on to Floyd Moxon Fight Factory, turned me on to Joe Rogan and his comedy and the stoner and just, all that kind of shit clicked. And I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to get really good at jiu-jitsu. I want to compete. And cool. I'd broken up from a really toxic relationship, so I was unfit and overweight and everything. So I wanted to change my life.
So after the situation where they shot at you and you're refusing and there's this whole scuffle, how did they finally, what happened up to the point that they just said, you know what, fuck it, I'm not going to bother doing this stuff, and then they just left you alone?
Ask me that again 1 second, because I didn't think I finished my full thought on your last question. So I never knew I had it in me I never knew I would react like that. And I think a lot of us don't know, and I think, you cannot be prepared for something, but you might react really aggressively. It's the basic fight or flight, right? But I didn't have any flight. I didn't have any option for flight. So I wasn't consciously scared. I wasn't consciously brave. I was just literally reacting in the moment for what I thought was my best interest. And so I would hope maybe from a few years of, martial arts, jiu-jitsu, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, being punched in the head enough times over the years. I don't think I'm very good at it, and I don't spar enough. Like, all my friends are way better than me, but I think it helps a little bit. Like, I would always recommend for everyone to train their kids in jiu-jitsu, just so there's that level of respect for violence, so you don't become a violent person. Because most martial artists I know are like the most chill, fun people. They never start shit because they know how it can end up. But I never been really tested before.
So guys, like what he said is some good advice. I train Muay Thai, I train some Jiu-Jitsu, I train Taekwondo, but the thing that I think would be best for you guys to train would be Muay Thai, because that's more of the stand-up. It'll be more of like a lot of elbows, knees, and kicks, and then how to punch and stuff. And the elbow is one of the most powerful, sharpest points on your body. That's the hardest, and that can do the most damage. So that way, you guys will be more, like he said, aware of violence and how to inflict the most amount of damage in a short time and not be shocked the first time it happens to you.
But I never been really tested before. Yeah.
Well, you were tested.
I mean, I was surprised myself, to be honest, and a few people are giving me some funny nicknames like Kai Wick and shit like that, and making jokes about the pen, because literally that's like they stole.
Yeah, right. So you got your laptop and
fucking everything, dude. Like
everything.
So this is the advice you were saying, like people would say was doing. If someone's trying to rob you, give them your fucking shit. Like, shit is not important. It's all replaceable. Your life is the most important thing. They didn't want my shit. Like, they didn't ask for it. They didn't look at my bag. They didn't try to take my phone. They didn't ask for it.
They wanted you.
Duct tape, get on the ground. I was like, fuck that. Like, I'm not. Yeah, like I would rather.
All right, so what he just said right there is that they didn't want his stuff right there. That means they were going for more of the long-term fucking extraction of resources, like going for ransom, have him drain his accounts until he has nothing left. That's more of what they were going for. And they weren't trying to kill him, because if they did, they would have killed him right there and stopped trying to force him and trying to do warning shots or whatever. They would have just shot him, but they needed him alive so they can extract the most amount of resources from him.
But yeah, like I would rather fight for my life, for my survival, than let some fucking strange motherfuckers who don't speak the same language as me, who are super poor compared to me, with fucking guns, submit me to the point they could do anything they want to me at all. Yeah. So like you said, you live in Cali.
He made a good point right there, and that's part of what we learned in the counter custody. He's all, if someone pulls up to you or tries to kidnap you, you need to fight the most you can at that moment right there, because once they get control of you, it's almost guaranteed you're gonna die. And so he said it's better off for you to die trying to escape instead of dying after they fucking torture you and extract all your resources and rob you from all your things that you have. And so that's an important lesson of what this guy is doing, and trying to fight the guys off, because it's true. If you're being kidnapped or being forced at gunpoint to like be carjacked or be robbed or something, and they're trying to kidnap you, that's the time you need to fight the hardest, because once they get control of you, your chances of surviving drop significantly. And that's like one of the main lessons that we learned in the counter custody anti-kidnapping seminar.
So like you said, you live in Cali, and after I told my boy the story, he told me about a guy in Cali who did get kidnapped overnight and tortured and managed to escape. So we'll gotta track that guy down for you, because that sounds like a crazy story. Jumped off a 2 or 3 story building, almost broke his legs when the guys went to get food. Like,
that's a crazy story.
So I think so some manner of preparedness over the years, some expectation for the thing that was possibly going to happen, knowing it could happen in this country, having a tactical pen.
So guys, this is the same thing. You know, these guys are just staying in this country knowing the risks, and it's like, why? Okay, I could say the same thing for me. I'm staying in this country, but thank God it's not as bad or not as fucking desperate as Colombia. You know, I've minimized my risk as much as possible to where, you know, it's not as dangerous to where I gotta worry about everywhere I go. So, you know, people say Mexico's dangerous. Yeah, it's fucking dangerous. It's not as bad as down there, you know. The cartel just wants to do their transportation and shit. They ain't trying to fuck with tourists. their main money is like transporting, you know, and doing extortion and coyote shit where they're bringing people over the border. That's their main income, not kidnapping and robbing tourists. That's not. They don't want to bring heat because they know that America will do something about it down here in Mexico, and they like the tourists coming down to their fucking spots that they run, you know, like Cancun and Cabo, all these places that are popular that Americans go to. The cartel supplies these places with the drugs so that these Americans that come down can get their drugs, you know. So when there's a higher power in charge, this shit won't happen. But in Colombia, there's no higher power. There's no nothing. These people that are doing it have no fear if they fuck with the wrong people or whatever. If you remember the people that got kidnapped and mistakenly kidnapped at the Tamaulipas border in Texas, the cartel said sorry and sent the people who did it and submitted them to the authorities and apologized because they don't want to have problems with the US. They don't want their business to get fucked with, you know. So it's not the same. Like, the countries are completely, yeah, they both speak Spanish, but they're completely different from each other.
Pen. Everyone's saying you're gonna buy one now. Yeah, I guess it wasn't a conscious decision. This is what I had to do, and I was lucky enough that, yeah, I mean, I can't say I'm special or anything. Like, I would not expect to have reacted like this, but I'm fucking so glad that I did, because it was literally the only out. But again, it could have gone wrong so many ways. Like, if they'd shot an artery or something,
Exactly.
they could have tied me up, and then I could have bled out to death because they would have been too scared to know what to do.
Exactly.
I mean, that's probably the worst case scenario.
Okay, so just tell me how you then managed, like, you know, like, so they were obviously struggling with you, right? And at what point do you think they just said, you know what, fuck it?
I gotta change this.
Don't worry, even if it gets the background, all of this stuff, because I must admit, it's recording. I do like the impromptu kind of stuff where, you know, we're just like discussing stuff off camera, but
Yeah,
it kind
for
of
sure.
kind of like,
Oh yeah, by all means. I didn't know trying to hide anything. Just record everything.
Right.
We're recording now, so
Yeah, yeah.
say go back to where we were. And I was saying why.
and we changed locations, by the way. So we've got this wonderful view here, and it's now an evening time. We've got this wonderful view out here by the pool. So, okay, so this is what they were trying to snatch away from you.
No, so I think I came to the realization that my innate fear of powerlessness and being submissive overrides any fear of life or loss of life. Yeah, 100%. I would choose to die of being tortured, so it wasn't even that much of a conscious decision, and I just knew what I had to do to get the fuck out. It was a really weird fight. I've been going over and over it again. I know at one stage, he shot around me, shot at me the first time, and we all stopped. And then we kept on fighting. And then he shot at me a couple more times, and I guess missed. And then he shot me in the arm, which went through. And then another time, he shot me in the hip, which I think came out 2 places in my ass.
Do you know what kind of bullets they were? Because like,
Well, I saw a shell, but like from the size of the wounds, they must have been 22s. Like, and if they were 9s, I'd probably have been completely fucked.
Yeah.
Oh.
So when you felt the bullets rip through your skin, like,
I don't know if I felt it.
no, the adrenaline was pumping.
I'm like, thank God for adrenaline, because really, that just kind of overrode everything else. But I remember they almost like swapped out a couple of times. I remember I was in the room with one of them, and the other guy ran out the front door and came back, and the other one ran out and came back. And maybe somewhere along this time, the girl left, because I remember her now at one stage coming back. Still kind of where the fight started. I've got the little guy in like a headlock. I got the Supreme pen, and I'm kind of stabbing him in the face and head, but not like.
Have you got that pen? Is that?
Not intentionally, anywhere specifically.
I'm saying, have you got the pen on you right now?
No, I don't. I'll tell you why. Because like, if you know what you're doing with it, you could really fucking kill someone quite easily. I wasn't trying to kill anyone, but I was also, I guess, pretty fucking mad.
Trying to defend yourself. You were fighting for your life.
I'm streaming with blood. He's streaming with blood. The other guy's there with a gun, like not doing anything. The girl walks out and she's like, Dio, no. So like,
Oh, so the girl came back out.
so that's the next time I saw her from the first time I saw them. So I'm like shirtless, blood everywhere, fucking shit's wrecked. Dude's bleeding. She walks out. She's screaming, Uncle, no. And I still don't know if she means like she was sad that he was getting fucked up, or that they got it to the stage with me where I was getting. I don't know. Probably for him, right? But still, she obviously wasn't happy about it. Which is another strange thing, by the way. Just it was more of the lead up to the story. I told her I trained like martial arts and guns. And she said I was like really big and talked about that I looked like a fit. I'm like, work out. Do you want to come to the MMA gym with me? So it's like,
Why would?
So the guy said the girl came out and started yelling her uncle, no. So it was like a family fucking affair. Her family was in on it, and they used her as the fucking bait. And then he's telling the story of how he told her that he trains MMA and knows how to use guns, but these girls don't give a fuck. They're dumb. They don't know shit. They don't give a fuck what you tell them, you know? So it doesn't matter. They're still gonna fucking get you if they want to. They're gonna go after you if you're a target. Let's keep going.
Why would she?
if you're gonna choose someone to fucking kidnap, why choose like the dude who
I know, but
sounds like on paper he's probably not the best option? We're not some fat old guy.
this is the thing, right? Like, because sometimes these people, these they're opportunists.
Yeah.
That's what it is, right? Because they know exactly like, okay, this guy, he's like this. He's really like, not just you. I'm saying even I've had incidences with myself where you tell a person, you tell a woman, you tell a guy, a Colombian, hey, this is what I'm really like. And they still want to try it. They still want to, you know, they still want to see if you're really about that life. You understand? Like, okay, they see, for instance, that in a situation, for instance, okay, I tell a girl, listen, like, if someone steals from me, listen, it's not going to end up well for them. Blah, 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 blah. I actually do find them. I live over here. I'm not just here on vacation. And then they...
Well, you speak Spanish, right?
Yeah, I speak Spanish. Yeah. But they still try. It does, in their mind, I am...
Gringo.
In their mind, I am a gringo. So anyway, going back to your story. So the girl comes out, she goes, Tio, Tio, which means uncle, no, uncle. Tio, Tio, no,
like, Tio, no, Tio, no. So who fucking knows? That's the last time I remember seeing her. I think I lose the pen, he grabs the pen. I start trying to do like a rear naked choke with blood everywhere. Doesn't work. Slip over. I think maybe we've broken the glass table by this time, so there's glass everywhere. Then I try and do a triangle, which I'm worse at and is even harder. Just, I don't know, but I think just the fact the whole time I was wrestling with him, keeping him in front of me was probably a good thing compared to the other guy with the gun, him not really knowing what to do.
So when you were wrestling with the guy, like you kind of had him, he was almost like a shield for you. So the guy with the gun couldn't...
Yeah, pretty much the whole time I tried to keep it like that.
So he didn't want to risk possibly shooting his...
Whenever he did shoot, it was like right up, like so close that if he'd done it to my head, I'd be dead.
Right.
So it seemed also, I didn't ever get the impression they were trying to kill me. Like they were trying to do what they wanted to do, and I was like, you're not going to do that. But we both had a very clear pass, and maybe it could have gone, I don't know, it could have gone wrong if I'd fucked them up more, I guess. But so at that stage, fall on the ground, jiu-jitsu's not working for me. I managed to pop back up, and then I just start like everything that's not tied down. So I like throw the table at them, all the chairs, using the chairs to like hit them and push them back more into the living room. They got the chair, made the thing with the chair. I had like a full, my mate thought maybe my ribs were broken, but they weren't. I just had like the full square mark of the chair there. So I get them into the living room. And this is the weird thing as well. I think the fight stopped again. I just bought these Air Force One Fresh 07, which is like all leather. They're supposed to never crease, but I've worn them like motorbiking and horse riding. So they were kind of a bit fucked up before the fight. One came off during the fight. There's, I think, the big guy with the gun there, standing near the door trying to stop me getting out. And he was, I just like walk over, pick up the shirt, looking at him, put it on the sofa, do up the laces. Oh, and before that happened, after the wrestling bit, I remember just like there, just like bending over, like breathing hard. Going, oh, this is why there's rounds in fights. We need a fucking break. Like I'm old. I live at sea level. Even like walking upstairs here because we're a bit elevated, I get out of breath, and I've been partying hard.
So I think it was really clear then that they didn't want to kill you, right? They wanted to kidnap you.
Yeah.
So because if you're taking breaks in between, then it's like they're trying to grab you. They're trying to.
Yeah, they were trying to, you know.
And they thought essentially that you're going to be compliant.
Yeah, I think they just thought the guns would win it.
Yeah, which it would for any regular normal.
It definitely should. Guns are fucking scary things. They kill very easily. Even 22s up close. Like, yeah, it's. If someone wanted to kill you with that, you'd be very dead very quickly.
And it's ironic that they were already in the apartment.
Well,
waiting. So
I mean, I guess you had me messaging them telling that I was coming. They were all prepped and ready. Like that was their trap house, 100%. I'm sure they just paid for it in cash. Her number stopped working right away. Like I messaged, so I guess we're not gonna go out again.
Have you got any pictures of her?
Yeah, I'll post them on the Reddit thing.
Can you send it to me? And
so again, the fight is like on and off. I've managed to recover my shoe, but I'm still like covered in blood, shirtless, shirts on my head. I think the other guy, the little guy, maybe came back again, and then I started grabbing like everything. Like I think I got the TV and hit him and threw it at him. And just everything that wasn't tied down, I just started using as a weapon. But by this time, I'm in the living room, and he's like kind of pushed back up against the door almost because I'm throwing so much shit at them. Then I just immediately like grabbed the curtains, the blinds. So I ripped down the blinds, and then we're street level, and the hamburger shop with all these people is directly across the road, and people are looking at us, and there's people just walking by as well. And I mean, I'm sure they saw the big Louis Blanco Gringo come in, like I stand out wherever I go here, right? And they must have heard the commotion. There's multiple gunshots and everything's getting broken. Obviously, they get involved, like it's not their business. Fair enough. But as soon as like it's there, I was like this big, half-naked, covered in blood and tattoos dude in a destroyed apartment, and two guys no longer have masks on because they've been fighting, both with guns. They just kind of do like a classic, I don't know, like look at the people, look at each other, and they just bounce.
Did they go off in a bike or in a car? Or
no? So I remember one guy was gone, and I can remember the big guy struggling with the outside gate, and I went to pick up a pop plant, and I was like, I'm gonna smash it over his head, and I'm thinking, oh, I'll probably get shot. It's like I'll throw it at his head. Not realizing really, I think that I've been shot in the arm. So my thought of throwing at his head, it just like fell weakly at the ground by his feet. And he looked at me, and then they just ran. Like there's no bikes or anything. I mean, they probably live in Berlin and have their spot somewhere else they can get to easily, right?
Yeah. And then after that, you didn't see the girls. Everybody basically just left.
I immediately grabbed my bag, which I was surprised was still there, and went straight across the road to the hamburger shop and said, Alicia, Baditos, Ambulancia, por favor, and just they gave me some water, and I just sat there like trying to like patch myself up with tissues and clothes.
¿Dónde tienes la cámara tú aquí? ¿Tú no tienes cámara?
¿Cámara?
Sí. ¿No?
No mi casa. ¿Esa es casa o vendidos casa? No mi casa.
Atiendan, vamos.
Amiga, ¿no este?
No es de nadie, de nadie.
Amigos,
Que van a
¿qué
mostrar.
habla? Mimi.
Vamos, que tenemos un berraco de puta que no te dejaste robar.
Mi estilo.
Como que estoy diciendo. Acá tiene que venir civil. Amigo, sálvate para no hacer el crimen.
¿Sí?
Sí, sí, ya la tengo. No, vamos para que te atiendan, vamos. Ven, vamos. ¿Qué buscas, tío? ¿Qué pasó?
Este.
¿Qué pasó, men? ¿Qué pasó?
No.
¿Qué buscas?
Ok.
Vamos, para que te atiendan. Vamos, mira, bolso. Llévatelo. Vamos a llamar aquí.
And then,
All right, so you guys saw where they took him and all the damage that was done. Don't fucking matter, guys. These guys, I don't even know where the fuck they went and how they disappeared, and no one was there. You know, you could even hear him as if it just happened, and he's still recording. They didn't take none of his stuff. He's out of breath, and the adrenaline's still pumping, but yeah, you just saw where it happened and how it went down to give you kind of more a better mental fucking picture of what this guy's lucky he fought, because if he gave in to what they were doing, he wouldn't be telling this story right now. He'd probably be dead, because once they get what they want, they're not gonna let him go. Majority of the time, they're not gonna let him go.
and the cops came. I think it was motorbike cops. And then they're out with guns going and checking the building. Then they asked me to go in. So I go in with the sole purpose to find my fucking Supreme pen, which I also know during the fight the cap came off. So I'm looking for both the pen and the cap, and I'm moving. Everything's broken and kicking it, and I'm filming it at the same time.
Have you got the actual footage?
Yeah, I can send you that as well. I had like maybe fucking 80. I had like no cash on me, but I have a $800 watch, a $1,000 phone, a $3,000 laptop. I was like, if they tried to rob me, they would have got so much shit. I had way less than that in my bank account. It like wouldn't have been worth it. But they took the money was gone, so I guess somewhere they had enough time to consciously go, oh well, this isn't working out. Let's get 80 mil. But the motherfuckers took my pen. So that's why I don't have the pen, because that was literally the only thing they stole from me.
Right. You said you and the police went back to the apartment. You're looking for your pen, right? After that, what happened next?
I mean, I just kept on saying hospitalidad. They chucked me in the back of the police car, and I just lay down because I was fucked up and, you know, shock, adrenaline, bleeding from like 6 holes in my body. I probably concussed. I had to like brace myself. So I'm not even seeing where we're going, and they're driving fast with sirens, and it's swaying loads. So.
Right, so the account from your guy, your friend, he said that they took you to a hospital, and the first hospital was kind of shit.
So this is the closest hospital. This is like the main hospital in Berlin, and I was not really in any kind of state of mind to be paying attention other than to get checked in as soon as possible, give them my ID so they could get me some attention. For some weird reason, I started getting like crazy ass hay fever that did not leave for like 24 hours. As soon as I went to the hospital, I was basically allergic to that hospital. And I eventually go see the nurse, and I think she gives me one piece of gauze for like I'm bleeding like multiple places. I'm leaving a pool of blood everywhere I sit just because I'm bleeding out my ass. And she put a bit of gauze on my arm. And then I went back in the waiting room, and I was just like out of it. When like my mate said he's coming, I was like, cool, I'm just waiting for you. That's all I'm doing. Trying to get water and stuff. Some Colombian chick starts talking to me, like trying to English and stuff. And I don't know, I was there for like maybe an hour. My friend comes, he grabs me like a...
Then you guys went to a second hospital.
Yeah, but so I don't know if he said it and they repeated it, or they said it and he again came and said the same thing, but they were like, he's like, we should go to a different hospital. They're like, yeah, you should go to a different hospital. I was like, cool, someone sorted out, because I wasn't really, by that stage, really able to, like with the adrenaline wearing over the shock.
What time of the day did this
I sent a video, I was across the road at the hamburger shop bleeding. That video I sent like 1:30 p.m. That was maybe 3, I think.
So from when they attempted to kidnap you to when you left, that was 2 hours. Am I getting the story wrong, right? Because your friend said you guys went to...
I was basically bleeding for 5 hours. It was the police came to do whatever they did. I'm not sure how long that took, or it took them to get to the hospital. But so I sent the video at 1:30. I'm definitely at the other hospital by 2. It took Phil at least an hour. So the earliest we're out of there is 3 p.m.
Right.
So I'm just bleeding the whole time. He looks at the best hospital in Poblado. We go to that. He's like, we're both feeling bad for the taxi driver. I'm going to leave a lot of blood in your car. Put my shirt down to bleed on that instead. Taking selfies the whole time. Like, I don't know why I'm getting energy halfway through to do this, but it seemed funny to me at the time. We get to the next hospital, check in. This is a nice looking hospital. Like, it made me feel better already, but by this time, I guess I'm still bleeding, right? So I hadn't eaten that day. I was like fasting, just had the coffee. So I'm either feeling like I'm going to pass out or throw up and leaving trail blood. And then they finally get to see me. And they're like, well, these are all the stages, the levels, and the cost of how much it is, and we can explain to us. Like, just do the expensive one, the quickest one, let's just go. So as I think you heard that story from Phil, did you? You heard the audio recording?
Bear with me a second. Just trying to sort out the light over here.
But yeah, we were basically in that hospital for another 3 hours.
We're trying to sort out the lighting. I think. I think that's perfect.
Did you still get any background? Like, is the background blown out, or is it nice?
Yeah, your face is blurry now.
I don't care about that.
your face is blurry now, or maybe it could be because I'm staring too much into. Right.
Everything's blurry to me right now, anyway.
Right. So go on.
Mm.
Go ahead. Let's continue.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Yeah, so we're at the good hospital, and I guess it takes maybe another 3 hours to, yeah, like, we agreed to just pay the biggest one, whatever, quickest, let's do it. I don't know how much longer it took after that, but I know there was a lot of waiting, and then they did maybe 5 X-rays and 1 or 2 CT scans, and that was 3 hours in total. And then finally they came someone to like patch me up and stop me bleeding. Prior to that, they had someone follow me around with a mop, like a cleanup bucket, and mopping up blood after me. I was like, why are you just not patch this shit? I'm pretty sure it doesn't affect that X-ray. Yeah, so that was super fun.
Okay, so check this out, right? So I'm here yesterday in Poblado, right? Time's about 1 a.m., I think, right?
Probably, yeah.
I've got work, right? Because I'm on London time. I got work. And then I bump into this guy. He's 6'2" or something with tons of tattoos. He's sitting right now in front of me. But I meet him yesterday. He's having the greatest time of his life. He looks as if he's been drinking. And I'm thinking to myself, hang on a second. Wasn't this guy just like almost kidnapped like a couple of weeks, like about 10 days ago? Why are you still here? Like most normal, most normal people who are rational, who are thinking, would have been like, you know what, fuck it. This was close. Why? I'm leaving the country. I'm leaving Colombia. Why are you still here in Colombia?
That is a very valid and legitimate question that a lot of my friends ask me. Because I mean, I love it here, man. This is like one of the best cities you'll ever come to in your entire life. It's got everything I love, and I still think about moving here. I'm aware of the dangers. I know that is a literal possibility. I have heard the stories. I've heard about, you know, that Vietnamese American guy who died from the girls over scopolamine him. Like, I know, I was staying at Seoul and 2 guys got scopolamine there, and they have a security desk that checks everyone in. They wouldn't even let our Canadian Colombian friend who is, like, she looks Colombian, but she's very much Canadian, right? Like, but eventually they did. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I was stupid. I put a post on Reddit, which apparently got taken down by the mods.
The guy says, like, he knows all the dangers. He heard about the Asian guys getting drugged and killed, but yeah, he still wants to stay there. It just sounds like he doesn't know of any better, because if you find a better location, you won't stay there. I won't even go there, because I found better locations. I know of better locations to go than that fucking place, to where I gotta worry about and have my head always looking around. Yeah, my head's looking around over here where I'm at too, but not like to the point where it is down there, guys. Don't fucking go down there, guys. Like, it's not worth it. It's just getting worse, and that's why I'm doing this fucking video, you know? It's been over an hour already for this fucking video, but it's almost done, and I want to finish it for you guys because this guy is sharing what you guys can learn from his mistakes, and he still wants to stay there. And like the other guy, the host was saying, like, most people will get the fuck out of there, and that's what you should be fucking doing. Get the fuck out of there. Why would you stay? There's no fucking point. He's just asking for it. He's asking for it to happen again, and probably the second time this happens, he won't be so lucky.
On Reddit, which apparently got taken down by the mods. It was respectful. It wasn't shitting on anyone or the country. I did all the wrong things. Like, there were so many red flags.
So, but my point is, you know, this is a great country. You know, we enjoy it over here, but you've just been through something which is like really traumatic for most people.
Yeah.
And let's be fair. Look at the view here. This is Medellin. This is Pablo Escobar's city, right?
So I'm on the 15th floor up there, and like the lightning storms.
So they're talking about being in Pablo Escobar city. That's like bragging you're in fucking El Chapo city and saying it's like a paradise and you want to stay there. That's how ignorant that this fucking sounds, guys. Yeah, I'm in fucking El Chapo's fucking town that's run by the Sinaloa cartel, and it's a fucking paradise. Come down, I'm gonna stay down here no matter what fucking happens. That's essentially the equivalent of what they're saying, you know? It doesn't make sense. And this is the kind of shit they're dealing with, and they still want to be there.
Lightning storms, you see?
Yeah, I saw the
thing, like flashing.
Yeah, I saw the lightning
storm.
So right, so why are you not scared? Like, you know, like how I recognize you on the street, are you not scared that these people could like recognize you? Like, you know, you probably injured one of them, and they could like want to take retaliation on you or something?
I have thought about that. I think they'll probably be more scared of getting caught. I have actually gone out a couple of times to the same place I met that girl, but I don't think she'd be that stupid to go there again, because...
Does she probably think that you left back to...
Well, that's what I think. I was like, I'm wondering if eventually she will go back there, which is another reason why I was like posting photos of her on Reddit, which is the same photos I gave to the police. But I mean, the police is like a whole other thing that probably should be discussed as well. But yeah, so why did I stay here? I mean, I know what not to do. And that was just a very, very strong reminder of things I already know that I've warned a ton of other guys I've met who've just come here for the first time. Like you don't go to girls' houses. You bring them to your place. You have control of the environment, of your drinks. You don't leave drinks unattended. Like, you need to have security and check people in with ID, and some people go to the extreme of like taking the girl's phone and locking it in their safe. I would like double lock my guest in and then hide the key, lock the key in the safe, and always, even if I know them and trust them, probably still always have my fresh beer with me everywhere going into the toilet. Like, I'm just usually overly cautious, and I just conned myself. She was really good. There was so many layers of like not being in any way suggestive or sexual and having what apparently seemed like connections of liking the same shit. I don't know if I gave stuff away or she just picked up on it, or it's just a good guess. Gringo's here, like me, like the gym and like coffee, right? That's not probably a hard thing to guess and say you like it too. The dog her wanting to come to the gym. I don't know. I just was like, I was definitely a fucking idiot.
I mean, how many? I know the Colombians with dogs, but I mean, it does seem kind of. I mean, if I met a female with a dog, right, I'll be quite trusting of her. To be fair,
Right?
yes, I'll be quite trusting of her. Like if I met a female walking a dog anywhere in the world, I'll be like, this is actually a really decent person. They've got some kind of like a.
And it was a cute ass dog as well. That's a funny thing. I put in the Reddit post a picture of her with the dog. One of the guys said, "Oh, I would have been like right away with the nails." I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Look at the dog's nails. They're unclipped and they're like super."
But the dog's nails.
Yeah, and I was like, "Fuck, you're right. That's not like someone who really looks after a dog."
Mm. Mm.
Especially if she's like a nail technician, she should be aware of the dog's nails, right?
Yeah, probably the dog was part of the act.
I mean, they just borrowed it from someone. Yeah.
Walking the dog and then.
That kind of dog, like that kind of pure
So
breed.
where did you meet her? You met her in Provenza, right?
Yeah, outside of Trash on Carrera 35.
Right. So she's walking the dog innocently.
No, that was no. She brought the dog to the coffee.
Right.
I didn't meet her with the dog. No, yeah.
Okay.
But the dog kind of just like put me at ease. I was like,
She's a sweet girl.
yeah, she's talking about the dog, and she acts like all these girls I know who are like really into dogs, who like dogs more than people. So maybe she likes dogs more than people.
So, did she speak English or?
Yeah, she spoke pretty good English. Yeah, like.
They're talking about the guy. So the lady said I drank 4. This is my 4th one. I could have sworn this was only my 3rd one. And she even said, "This is your 4th drink." I said, "No, I only had, this is my 3rd." And the waitress said, "No, I got your drinks lined up on the bar. You drank 3 of them. This is your 4th one." I can't even remember, guys. I could have sworn this is only my 3rd. But going back to the video, they said that the girl with the dog, like we were talking about in the beginning, was perfect bait. They're getting smarter on how they can fucking get them to lower their guard down. Oh, I got a call coming from a client. I'm gonna have to pause this video for you guys real quick. All right, back from my client's call. I'll handle the shit after, but I just want to finish this real quick so we can get out of here.
Which I think also helps, right? Because I'm just like trying to, I'm not even like, okay, if I meet a girl, just the fact that she speaks English is cool. Maybe I can make a cool friend. Maybe I'm not going to like date her or hook up with her, but I'm sure she has friends. Just trying to create a social circle and like, you know, build some kind of network with just people. Because for the most part, Colombian people are super cool, super fun, super nice, super friendly, generous. Like, that's another reason I love this place. I love the city specifically for the climate, but I'm into, you know, hip hop, skateboarding, graffiti, weed, like all the shit this city has.
All the
this
hip hop
country
stuff.
has. But even like reggaeton now, like the new school reggaeton is like 90s hip hop. It's all just like flexing in cars and hot girls and Jordans. It's like that's all the shit I love.
I'll tell you what. Even something that surprised me is, you know, the Mexican kind of I've forgotten what they call rancheros. It's like where, you know, I don't want to like mimic the beat, but it's like it's like the old school Mexican type of.
The guys who walk around with the
but now the youths are doing that, right?
Oh, yeah?
There's this one called
like a new school.
Yeah. So they're doing the old school type of stuff. I'll put it in the clip, right? They're doing the old school kind of stuff, but they've all got the blings and everything.
Oh,
and
yeah?
they get millions and millions of views.
They're talking about the narco music like Peso Pluma, Oscar Maidon, Nathaniel Cano, those kind of Fuerza Regida. That's the kind of music they're talking about right there. That's the only shit I listen to now because of these girls. That's all they listen to. So they got. I don't like it. I never liked it before. I didn't like what it was, but since that's all they listen to, and I'm so surrounded by it, it like grew on me, and it's my preference, and that's all I want to listen to. It's badass fucking music.
Hundreds of millions of views. Right, so it's really big now in Mexico. So it's like the culture now and everything. Anyway,
but like also, you saying why I didn't leave? Because I love the city for so many reasons, like the food culture, the bar culture.
He said it's really big in Mexico. Yeah, that's all it is. That's all everyone's listening to. This type of culture, this Mexican culture, narco corridos or the corridos tumbada, that's like spreading to all the other Latin countries, you know. And the reggaeton from Colombia, like Karol G and J Balvin and what's his name, Maluma, they're all from fucking Colombia. So these are like the top 3 reggaeton artists. They're like sharing their musical culture with everyone else around the world. So I'm sure if you guys have any idea of reggaeton and all that stuff, that's where they're all from over there. So they got the good music scene down there, but Mexico has like the Peso Pluma and all these different kinds. What I was telling you about the corridos type of music that is like spreading and almost taking over the reggaeton stuff.
Culture, the bar culture. I know I did the wrong thing. I didn't feel particularly mentally traumatized, but I'm definitely really fucking sore. And the thought of like packing my bags or getting on a plane with a bunch of people and touching things, like I was basically just lying. I have been lying on this side for like 2 weeks. So it was very uncomfortable. They didn't give me proper painkillers. They said take acetaminophen and vitamin C. Asked for antibiotics. They didn't give me any. Shit got infected, so I had to go back to the hospital a week later and get antibiotics, which was like 3 hours for antibiotics. But during this time, I started self-medicating with some like low milligram oxys, which I just watched Painkiller. So I was like, is this a good idea? And yeah, they didn't really do too much. Kind of helped a little bit, but I don't have an addictive personality. Apparently these ones are like the slow release, so it doesn't really, it's not like the ones in the documentary or the Netflix series. But yeah, man, like I don't really paid for a place. It's super cheap here. I live in the most expensive country in the world, which is hot and humid. So I'd just be there having to drive my car to the supermarket to pay hundreds of dollars for a couple of bags of groceries, right? And it's like it's like the coast, it's Caribbean, right? So it's the same as Cartagena or any of those places. So the other reason I like it here is just because it's just nice, like I'm chill. So for me, this just seemed like the best idea. Just stay here, stay at the places that I know are safe. Don't go for strange girls. Don't go to anywhere I don't know. Yeah, just enjoy what I love about the city.
So I guess that was how I was going to wrap it up. I was going to say, what advice can you give people? But you've already, over and over in this conversation, said that you've made the mistakes, and you've also mentioned how you're aware of how to avoid these mistakes. And for people who've been listening, they know obviously, okay, not to do this, but especially people who are new to Colombia. I'm trying to think if there's any.
It comes down to what your mom told you. Don't trust strangers, right? Exactly. I was like, that's the best rule. I mean, I guess I just thought I got too old. I forgot that rule, but yeah.
I'm trying to see if there's any other further questions before I ask you other stuff not related to this. Because we're late. I know.
No, we got time.
But I'm just trying to think on this topic if there's anything else.
I mean,
are you still with everything that's happened? I know I saw you out on the street last night, right? Are you still trustworthy of these chicas here, these women over here? Like, because
I'm definitely much more cautious than I was already cautious enough for the kind of girls I would talk to, but it's definitely made me take a step back. And like any girl, like I was talking to a girl who's like, come meet me. And I was like, I told you some girl tried to kidnap me. Like, I'm gonna meet you in the mall in the daytime. Yeah, so I mean, I've been filtering through, still trying to be on dating apps.
So you using Tinder?
Yeah, Tinder's pretty shit here, I would say. Well, Bumble, but even then, that doesn't seem that great. I don't know. I hate dating apps. They don't really work for me. And I find Colombian girls pretty hard work.
Yeah, they can be. Okay.
He said Tinder and Bumble are still hard work. Colombians are hard work. And he still wants to stay there after getting shot, after getting almost killed, after getting robbed. And then being there 6 years, it finally happened to him. And I say that in all the videos I've done about Colombia in the past. If you haven't watched them, check them out because I gave a lot of fucking advice. My take on all this shit. Guys, it just blows my mind how like this kind of shit can happen. And he's talking about how difficult it is to, if girls are your fucking goal, and he's talking about how difficult it is, and yet he still wants to stay there, it's gotta be a fucking problem, like this guy's only asking for it to happen again, and like I said, he hasn't been to a better spot, because if he knew of a better spot where he can get all the things he wants, he'd be there instead of over where he's at right now dealing with all. But since he doesn't know any better spot, then he's gonna stay there and like play Russian roulette till maybe it happens again. And this time it might be too late, or something worse might happen, which he already went through one of the worst things that could possibly fucking happen, but it might happen worse.
Listen, thank you very much for your time and help. Well, not help, but for sharing the information this afternoon and now this evening, nighttime. Hopefully this is a tale for people to be aware of, the dangers of not listening to mom's advice and following strangers back home, especially cute girls who are walking dogs in Provenza in Colombia. But yeah, hopefully, the audience and the people who watch this would, find this really informative, and there are going to be lessons learned. Listen, I wish you all the best. Take care of yourself. Be, real careful, cautious in future, and live your best life, man.
So I'm trying to do, man. Yeah, I think it was like one of those kind of wake-up calls that we don't appreciate what we have enough, and you lose it in any fucking second. So while not being an idiot making bad decisions, try to just make as many good decisions for yourself, I guess.
All right, well, that's the end of the video. I had to show the whole thing. It was long, and I had to put it at 1.5 times speed just so you can hear and learn from all these mistakes, and hopefully you won't have to deal with this or go like this guy and learn the hard way.
I appreciate the outreach, the comments, and the emails. And if you can, share these videos with a friend, or also at the very least, just give it a like. It doesn't cost anything or take more than a half a second for you to click the like, because then what it does when you click like, YouTube will suggest the videos to other people that have the same interests as you. So that's kind of like how the whole algorithm works. And so that goes and helps a lot too, like if you're not writing comments or sending donations or whatever, pressing like and writing a comment helps greatly as well, because then YouTube will know that you find it useful, and that it'll start suggesting, it'll know that it's a legit video that can help somebody, and it'll start suggesting it to other people that are kind of like watching the same things that you're watching.
The smart way, you can learn from your own mistakes, but the smarter way is to learn from other people's mistakes, so you don't gotta do it. If you already know that the stove is hot, and if you touch it, you're gonna get burned, why do you need to learn the hard way if you know that other people have been burned before you? Why would you touch the stove? It's kind of the guy. So that's it for now. I'm tired. We need to get the fuck out of here. It's getting dark already. It's getting late. Baby Sri Lanka's on the phone with her, and she wants her to come over.
Los del YouTube.
She's saying hi to YouTube right there, Baby Sri Lanka.
Pura vida dice.
Oh, she said pura vida. Oh, I love these girls. They already know. They make me laugh all the fucking time. But all right, well, that's it for now, guys. Write your comments and like everybody has been contributing and writing comments in the previous videos, and I appreciate that because a lot of the guys read the comments, and we can learn a lot from the comments, sometimes more than what we can learn from the video, because a lot of guys writing the comments are not making YouTube videos, they're not going on blogs, they're not going on fucking interviews or writing Reddit posts to let people know what happened to them, or friends or like situations that happened to their friends. They're not talking about that kind of shit, but sometimes they'll write it in the comment because it's more anonymous and people won't know who they are, you know, and so sometimes we can learn more from the comments. So write your comments if you yourself have been through this shit, or you know anybody, or the stories that you've heard, you know, of this kind of shit happen. So, all right, shout out to the guy Obi Land, who makes these type of videos. He has another video where he set up fucking hidden cameras in a hotel room and recorded some girls jacking him. So to show you what these girls do, I'll cover that in another video. And like the German guy, I know time is passing and just like, it's not my top priority, guys. I just did it. I'm trying to do as much as I possibly can to share with you guys. But, you know, like Colombia is not my fucking topic of my channel. Hey, ¿quién es? Check these. Hey. Hey.
No le pegues a Toto. A Toto no le pegues.
Check these solo quiere jugar.
¿Por qué le pegas?
Colombia is not my fucking topic of my channel, but my channel is all about helping guys, and this just happens to be one of the places that guys like to go to, so I feel like it's important for you guys to know. So, all right, well, that's it for now, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, so we're back. I just took a shower. She rolled a blunt, and we finished smoking it.
Hola, amigos.
And Nikki. So we just finished smoking the blunt and a joint, half a joint and a blunt she rolled. And we're cooking our munchie. And then she just spilled the drink all over the floor. And so I'm gonna read these comments because I forgot to read the comments. I saved a bunch of comments that I thought would be like interesting for you guys. So this guy writes, I have an answer, stop going there, pretty much. This guy is the biggest advertisement for the enhancement of Medellin that I could ever imagine. He fights off 2 guys with guns, is shot and hospitalized, but still loves the place. It's true that it's mesmerizing, from the night views to the hills and the high rises, to the friendly people, clean streets, hot girls, and nightlife. But evil lurks barely under the surface. When you least expect it, it'll jump out at you. I also think that Boogie's reaction was reasonable given the dilemma he was faced with. Once tied up and gagged, odds of survival dropped considerably, and I mentioned that earlier. Obi, though some think so, I don't think you talk too much. It was an interesting conversation and I was never concerned about the length. Same thing, Obi, I don't think that you talked too much or interrupted the guy. It was a great conversation. Don't listen to these idiots, you know. You did a good job. This is how I read the whole incident. The criminals in Colombia are upping their game because of negative publicity they're getting as word gets around on YouTube and other parts of the internet. The bait speaks good English. She has a pet. She does not seem to be in a rush to get in a relationship. The target immediately relaxes and lowers his guard. This is what happened to this guy. I also covered this in the video as well. They're getting smarter and they're using dogs and making the girl look like a normal chick. And most guys will fall for it. It'd be difficult to not fall for it, you know? Great interview. Funny to me that so many in the comments don't believe him, even after seeing the video with the blood covered the walls and destroyed apartment. Boogie seems like a cool guy. Aussies are wild. I'm sure his training helped him in many ways, not just being able to defend himself, but being able to stay calm during violence. That's why the first time you should see violence is not when it's forced upon you, but when you're training. That's what you should train yourself to not have to deal with that. A man who cannot control his sexual urges, he has solved 90% of his problems. Well, going to Colombia because you're desperate to get laid, you're gonna set yourself up. You're a clever dude, man, and you've done the right thing by standing up for yourself. And if I was in your position, I had any credentials, I would definitely stick up for myself. All that training you've done paid off. It's good to see you haven't let it affect you. I wish you all the best, mate. Never go to any place that you haven't decided on going yourself, and never travel anywhere with a girl that you just met while traveling abroad. I've been all around the world and back again. I can only think of a handful of times that things got sketchy. Never anything like this though. Like, how many stories like this to happen before people stop going home with strangers? For the bros that don't know, long nails or even semi-long nails in Colombia should signify the chick is of street element. Most good educated women in Colombia have short, well-polished nails, professional looking. The long nails tend to be a street-oriented women. It's a red flag to pay attention to, but you have to observe her more to be sure. Good points. The girls that are like respectful and like upper class ain't gonna have the long ass fucking nails. I honestly don't have sympathy for these guys getting victimized in Colombia. That's exactly what the people over there, how they feel too. Because they feel like people are coming over there to take advantage of their women, you know. These sex tourists get drugged multiple times, escape death and potential kidnappings, yet they're so desperate for prostitution, they continue to travel to Medellin, Cartagena, etc. But the craziness out of all this is they continue the same routine. Mental health issues and desperation is real. This guy was shot and almost kidnapped. He's still in Medellin. Moreover, giving interviews on social media, letting know that the criminals know that he's still in the city. Shaking my head. So true. I mentioned all that in the earlier too. We were planning on going to Colombia on vacation and decided to cancel and go elsewhere. I've always wanted to visit there, but going to a place where you need to have your head on a swivel for being a foreigner is not worth it. I've traveled to many places and lived overseas and never seen the stuff that I see going on there against tourists and foreigners. She made us our vegan chicken tenders. So nice. So true what this guy said. She even brought up a drink. I'm like super buzzed already, and she wants to keep drinking. Then we got the munchies. But I'll keep going. The crime scene with blood and the wall and the roll of red tape on the floor is wild. I'm just surprised she didn't drug you when she offered you her unfinished coffee. Maybe that could have been drugged. Yeah, they're trying to play the long game and like pretend that they're not drugging you or not trying to go after you. So that's what they're doing now. They're changing up their strategies. So you guys need to be aware, and that's why I'm sharing this with you guys. I've had the time of my life in Colombia, but it's almost time for Colombia and I to part ways. Even guys that have gone there and had fun are realizing it's not safe anymore. Now I understand why Tony Montana said he don't trust Colombians. It's true. He sounds suicidal to me, pretty much. He's asking for it, guys. I told you that earlier too. He instantly made the decision he would rather die than be hogtied. Got in a long fight, healed up, thought about it, post pics of the chick, talks about the fight on social media, and remains in the country. I said the same thing. I don't get it. Like, the guy is really asking for it. His reason for staying and risking his life because he likes the hip-hop scene and the weather. It seems like he's done with his life and has decided he's fun with Colombia being his final resting place. Like, well said. The guy pretty much just put it all into words, what everyone's thinking. Never get in a car that a woman has organized or called for. I said that earlier too. He called the Uber himself, and then yet he gets in a taxi and changes his mind when the girl says to. Because they don't want proof of where it's going to. There's too many of these stories because so many men put their guard down too early, ignore the red flags, or often don't use common sense. That's true too. Like, they all let their guard down too early, and this guy saw all the red flags and he ignored it himself, even being there for 6 years. There's just as many good stories and interactions in Colombia if you use common sense and don't rush to chase the mass. The man should always control the situation. Once you lose that, you lost the game, because once you find yourself a good Colombiana, it will have been worth the patience. I don't know, guys. There's better girls in other places. You don't have to go all the way to a fucking place where the danger is all over the place. Look at this. I found paradise, and it ain't over there. I don't have to worry about getting drugged or kidnapped or killed. Teléfono.
La comida de Toto.
The Toto. los otros quieren también. I don't gotta worry about all the shit that people gotta worry about in Colombia as much as I gotta do over here, you know? Crazy. There's better Latinas in other countries, guys. Proof is right here. This is funny. Suddenly, everyone in Medellin is coming out with heroic escapes from kidnappings, laughing my ass off. I was thinking the same thing, like, all of a sudden, all these guys are, like, coming out with all these stories and shit. They got robbed and drugged in Colombia, and then making a video about it so they could get some views or get some subscribers, get some attention. Sometimes it almost seems like this shit is staged and they make the shit up just to get attention and grow their channel and shit. I was about to make a video that said I got drugged in Colombia just to fuck around. I got robbed and drugged in Colombia just for attention like these fuckers are doing. But we'll give this guy the benefit of the doubt because it does seem pretty true what happened to him. Before you expose yourself or take risks with any chick in Medellin, make sure she has a lot to lose first. If you don't know exactly where the chick's fam lives or exactly where she works at a real job, assume you can get got. That the pic of the cedula, her ID, make sure someone you confide in has the info. She knows this, and she knows this. One reason why dating with clicks exists here. Look at the kind of shit you gotta do to date a girl over there. It's ridiculous, guys. Fuck that place. Better, easier places than that place where you don't gotta worry about that shit. I think the problem men are used to dealing with women get you through marriage and the legal system and manipulation and not really willing to set you up and take your life with the goons and drugs. You see a beautiful woman and you think she has no need to rob, literally. However, in Colombia, this does not seem to be the case. So true. It's very simple. Filter your prospects. That innocent looking girl had sleeve tattoos. Sadly, there's a huge correlation with tattoos and mental instability. I said that true, that's a red flag. If they got tattoos, they got some kind of mental instability or issues that they're still dealing with, and they don't care about their future or think about anything like that. They just make snap decisions. Anything ink on the skin is a red flag, especially for the female. I'm currently in Medellin and I don't get into these issues because I take Ubers from point A to point B. I don't go to Pokemon adventures on foot, and I make sure the females I deal with come from stable backgrounds. Yeah, you can do that, or just go to a better place. I don't believe that he thought that young pretty girl would want to go out with him on a normal date. She actually looks underage. That could be true too, but that's the thing, like, a lot of these guys think that these girls want to go out with these guys as their first fucking pick. We're not the first fucking pick, guys. They'd rather be with a handsome fucking young Latino dude that's from their place that has a similar background to them. I still can't believe why a guy in his 40s and 50s would think a beautiful half his age girl would want to be interested in him without wanting anything in exchange. Pretty much the same thing as the previous comment that I mentioned and why. This guy wanted the cat so bad he thought he was in trouble, so he texts his friend his location after being suspicious and still goes forward. Knowing all he knows, yet still risk it, and that's how these idiots in Colombia get caught, people. Same story. So amazing. I'm talking about her, not the story that this guy talked about. But exactly what this guy said, they still risk it all, ignoring the red flags even though they know better. I think the perpetrators didn't want to commit murder, otherwise your interview would have been toast. The conclusion is Colombia is not the place to meet women. Yeah, you think so? I don't think you can blame a guy for being a sex tourist if it was an innocent looking gal that set him up. Sex tourists know how to exchange money for a service. Most of the kidnapping and deletions have been dudes thinking they're with a normal girl. Exactly, guys. They think they're banging a normal girl because they don't want to pay for it, but then they pay with it by getting robbed, getting beat up, getting stabbed, getting shot, getting kidnapped, getting killed. That's what they pay for it with. They pay way more. These guys are trying to avoid whatever the risks are with workers, but they don't get the Colombian culture. They can't tell these types from a normal girl. They even think a Colombian 7 is into them when they only got United States 5s back home. Colombian women, regardless of legal status of workers, are not promiscuous as American women. So true what this guy said. Colombia is a no-go, gents. The risk versus reward is too high. Things men do to chase tails. So true. Going to dangerous places that you wouldn't even go with a gun, but yet guys go and follow their dick instead. Hectic story. Blows my mind. People will want to visit that place. Same with me, man. Seems most men that go there are so desperate for poontang they'd risk their life for it. Exactly what I've been saying in all my videos about this place. But yet, people ain't gonna listen. They're still gonna go there. They're gonna ignore it and keep going until it happens to them. and then they're going to regret it. If you're going to other countries, there are certain cities in your own country for illicit purposes like sex, drugs, criminal activity, gambling, and any of the other vices, you're inviting trouble. When it comes to females, the truth is, if pretty young females don't come up to you in your own country, but do approach in other countries, there's something wrong. Again, another truth. I don't know why these dudes keep clicking to Colombia when you could go to literally any other country in Latin America and not have to deal with this. Literally any other one. Exactly. So true. This girl literally cried uncle. Again, yes. Thank God they only wanted to rob and not kill. Thanks for sharing the horrific experience. Nobody know what they would do if they were in your situation. The fact that she is so attractive is what scares me about Colombia. The girl wasn't even that attractive, guys. This guy's a desperate simp with no options. Hasn't seen very many options. They're more worried about what their guns look like than how they work in Colombia. So true. I guess this girl and the guys were never caught. He has pictures of the girl. Why hasn't she been caught? If this happens in the States, most likely they would have been caught. They don't care over there. Gringo Tuesdays, I think, is that weekly event, is a setup. I would not attend those things to meet anyone. So true. These guys are so desperate for companionship and to meet people that they go to places like this and make themselves an easy target. Gringo Tuesday was the flag he missed. Again, another Gringo Tuesday comment. What kind of pen is he referring to? It's a tactical pen. I shared what my tactical pen looks like. You guys should order a couple and keep it on you at all times. He lived there for 6 years. Why? For intercourse and MMA? I guess so. Mexico may be safer than Colombia. In some cases, yes, it is. But in other places, it's not. Stay away from the narco states. Well, Tijuana's kind of a narco state. But thank God the guys aren't rolling around on the fucking back of pickup trucks with their machine guns exposed and shit. When you see that shit happening and them doing roadblocks in front of you, that's a bad sign. One guy I met at Yarrows Park told me he doesn't go with a chick unless she adds him on Instagram. And then a guy writes, how does that increase security? Kind of dumb too. Some of these guys' ways are stupid, the way they think. They're making themselves safer. This guy writes, I'm confused. You say the accident happened 10 days or so ago. You said he got shot in the right arm and pointed to it. There's no scar or recent wound that is visible. It's a 22 caliber bullet. I saw the gunshot wounds. Couldn't put them on YouTube. But like, I'm wondering the same thing. He was supposed to get shot in the neck and all these other places, but you don't see the scars. Shit, I scraped my knee and that shit didn't go away for over a week. So I'm kind of wondering where the scars are. But the interviewer said he saw them. Textbook Medellin happens all the time. I live there for work and I speak Spanish. Sad that he blames himself. Blame the criminal culture. This mostly happens with the sex, dating, party lifestyle, but it happens to others as well. And scary it seems the scammer ladies are getting into dating and building your confidence instead of the quick drug and rob. I talked about that earlier. They're changing up the way that they're doing things, and guys that are going down there are not aware of this. So hopefully you'll see this video if you were planning on going down there and you're aware of what's going on now. And the kidnapping thing is gaining popularity. Why go hang out in a place that you are being hunted all the time? Exactly, guys. I talk about that all the time. Why you want to go to a place where you're going to be hunted? I know it's beautiful and has good weather, but avoid the place. Dudes, seems cool, but remember, any place in the world, hot younger ladies ain't attracted to average foreigners. This guy had to make some quick decisions. I agree, don't let them take you hostage. Better off taking your chances in a fight. You had a lot of luck and use some skills. Glad you're okay. He did have a lot of luck, because otherwise he'd normally be dead in any other instance. If that girl was smoother, if there was more guys with more experience, he would be dead. Hope he realizes that. So true. All that blood and no marks anywhere on you, boycott Medellin. I like that. That should be the new name for Medellin, is Medellin. If the women have tattoos, that's my red flag. Majority of them do. That pussy gonna get you killed, bro. Sure, in America you can't get shot. Yeah, of course you can get shot anywhere. It's just happened in Morden. This guy doesn't seem too bright to try and be tough with two guys with guns. And then some guy responded. He clearly mentioned that in the moment. The thought of being held hostage against his will would instill fear in him to react the way he did. I would have done the same. No way you're going to tie me up and hold me hostage. The fear of the unknown at that moment overrides the fear of dying. Everyone is different. If he was just being robbed for his belongings, of course you're not going to fight back. You just give up what you have. This was a bit different. He was ordered to get down so they could tie him up. They obviously wanted more than his belongings. And in his mind, the chances of survival were slim to none. I'm glad he's alive to tell this story. If you read this, kudos to you, my man, but just know you got to move a little smarter moving forward, as you can possibly have a retaliation target on your back, especially after speaking up. I wouldn't want them to turn you into an example so that it discourages others from fighting back the way you did. Much respect, just move on with extreme caution. Just leave, guys. That's the time, you gotta leave. And it's so true, like I talked about that earlier in the video, that once they hold you hostage and have you under control, your chances of living drop dramatically. And I learned that in that anti-kidnapping course. That's all the comments, guys. I just thought I'd share that. Those were the most interesting, most helpful ones that I saw out of all of them. So hopefully that helps open your eyes, and hopefully it saves one of your lives or prevents one of you from going down there and putting yourself at risk. It just ain't worth it. Like the guy said in the comments, that literally anywhere else in South America is a better option than going there and putting yourself at risk the way that everyone is a target over there. So, all right. Well, that's it for now, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Adios. Pura vida. Peace, adios, baby. Guys, it's finally here. I got the Jedi group open, and I got a website put together for all you guys that can reach out to me instead of sending me an email. The website's 420john69.com, and pretty much everything you need is listed out on the links above and the links below. So if you're interested in the Jedi group, if you're interested in getting help with a trip, relationship advice, credit card service, real estate, affiliate programs, pretty much anything that I'm talking about, business, investments, it's all on the website. So that way you guys can help me help you a lot faster. That way I don't miss out on any of the emails, and it'll help me stay in touch with you guys. Even if something happens to the channel or the Instagram or whatever, if everything gets taken down or blocked by the platforms, I'll still have a way to get in touch with you guys. So go ahead and go to the website and pick whichever link that you need help on and fill out the information, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Look forward to seeing you there. All right, talk to you guys soon. Adios, pura vida. All right, guys, so I'm putting together these groups, my Jedi Master Inner Circle. So there's gonna be 2 levels to it. You're gonna have the Jedi Masters, which are the guys that are making 100K or more per year at least, and have been well-traveled, have a lot of experience, and know of different places that we can go to experience and find beautiful girls and be able to share amongst everyone and give advice to other people as well. And then we're also going to have the young Jedis that maybe aren't as experienced or just starting out in life, or are young and don't really have much money, but they want to live this lifestyle. They're being inspired, and they want to start and learn and be able to communicate with each other. So that'll be the second level. And of course the Jedi Master level will be in both, so that you'll have the Jedi Masters also helping the young Jedis by answering questions for people that are new. And then the Jedi Masters, what we're gonna do is have like trips maybe once a year where all of us Jedi Masters come together and go to a destination where we'll be able to experience all of this together and share and network and share financial advice, how to make money. It'll be how to make money, how to deal with breakups, how to meet girls, pretty much everything that you're seeing on my videos that I'm teaching. We'll be able to network and do it in person and put together these groups and meetings for people, and kind of be me as the connector, connecting all of you guys together, because I'm getting all these messages from people from all walks of life in different parts of the world. And a lot of you guys tell me that you don't have anyone to share these experiences with, or share your stories and share all the knowledge that you've accumulated throughout the years. And once you communicate with me, it's like you're spilling your entire story because you're so excited to tell someone finally, because there's no one else you can't tell your friends, can't tell your family, and there's no one you can ask questions. There's no one you can share these intimate details with. And so I want to bring you guys together with other like-minded people that are watching my videos and kind of want to live this lifestyle as well. And let me know which Jedi Master or Jedi part level in the inner circle that you want to be in. There's going to be either the young Jedi or the Jedi Masters, and the Jedi Masters is going to be for you guys to join. That's the screening process. And then we got the young Jedis for $50. That way it's affordable. And the is to screen out. Obviously, if you're doing well, isn't much. And then it keeps out the people that aren't serious. It's kind of like how to weed out the people that aren't really real. And of course, there's going to be moderation, and there's going to be like content moderation, where I moderate who gets in and interview the people that want to come in to make sure they're real. And that way, everyone that's in the group is actually there because they want to be, and that they share this similar outlook on life and want to live this type of life and level up even more, make more connections, make more friends, kind of like me and Tim, the 72-year-old that you've been seeing interview, and other people you haven't seen in my videos that I hang out with. It'll be kind of like being into the inner circle and make these kind of bonds that will last a lifetime, and these kind of memories that we can share together and have some awesome adventures together. You guys will be invited once you pay the entrance fee, and then we'll get you in. All right, guys, that's it. Adios, pura vida. You say adios, baby.
Adios.
Bye. Well, guys, if you coming down here to Cancun, Playa del Carmen, I have friends down here as well that can take care of stuff. If you're heading down to Costa Rica, I got friends in Costa Rica that can help take care of the stuff, you know, help assist with transportation and activities and lodging and things like that. And then the business that helped me live this life is the credit card service business. So if you own a business and you're still paying the credit card fees, you don't have to do that anymore. Stop wasting your money. You could be enjoying it every month instead of like whatever you're paying to the bank, $1,000, $2,000 to the bank every month. You take it and go on a vacation. Look at the ocean, how beautiful it is down here, and the weather's perfect. It's so early in the morning, I'm already sweating. It's tropical, and people are swimming down there, if you could see. And the only thing I wish that was down here is that there was more waves. But like I said, if you own a business, you don't have to pay for the fees. You can use it for vacation, take your family out, reinvest in your business, or whatever it is you want to do with it. It's way better than wasting it, paying it to the bank and getting nothing in return. So that's it. All right, that's it for now. Talk to you guys later. Adios.